April was an interesting month, so this wrap up should be fun to film. Hi everyone, it's Rose and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my April reading wrap up. So I've got 10 books to talk you guys through, spoiler free of course, whilst giving my ratings and reviews, all of that fun stuff. So I read 10 books in April, obviously. It was 4,131 pages and I found 2 new 5-star reads, which is so exciting. Let's start by talking about a trilogy I finished this month, which is a 5-star trilogy for me. I read books 2 and 3 in the Ruinous Love trilogy, I think it's called. The first one is Butcher and Blackbird by Brim Weaver, which I rated 5 stars. And this month I read books 2 and 3. So let's get into it. Leather and Lark by Brim Weaver, of course. Book 2 was a 4.5. It was so close to a 5-star, but it just didn't give me the same feelings as Butcher and Blackbird, which is why it got the 4.5. But this is so good. These are dark rom-coms. It deals with such dark and gruesome and gory serial killing stuff, and in the next minute it has me laughing, giggling, kicking my feet. I think I've used that phrase so much on my channel recently because I cannot shut up about these books, so I'm sorry if you're tired of hearing about it, but this was so good. This is Lachlan and Lark. Leather and Lark. Oh my goodness, it is so good. It is so good. It's a contact killer and a multiple deleter. And they have to get like forced to marry each other. It's not just like an arranged marriage or a marriage of convenience. It's forced. And it is so funny and brutal and heartwarming and heartbreaking. It gave me all the feels. Then we have Scythe and Sparrow, the third and final book. Now this one I was like nervous for because as far as I was aware, neither of them were killers. And the first 2 were about 2 killers falling in love each time. So I was like, what is she gonna do with book 3? Oh my goodness, this was a 4.5. It was even closer to being a 5 stars than Leather and Lark. This was so good, so funny. We've got a circus, we've got a girl that gets into an accident, and we've got a guy who is a doctor. But it's so much more than that, but I can't tell you that. But this is one of my favourite FMCs ever. Rose Evans. I love her so much. She is my new book girlfriend. Like, she's my new #1. This is so good. And don't worry, it does deal with some gory stuff too. I was not disappointed by that, to say the least. This definitely has some dark topics too. Check content warnings for both those books. But I love that trilogy so much and I can't wait to read more from Brim Weaver. Then I've got a 5-star read. Look at all those tabs. We have Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney. Oh my goodness, this book is amazing. So we follow a guy who is a writer, and he calls his wife to tell her good news, but then she says she's on the drive home to meet him and she's like, there's someone laying in the road. And he's like, don't go out and see who this is, this could be a trap. She goes out and he never hears from her again. And then a year later, he's got writer's block because he hasn't been able to write since his wife went missing. So he goes to this very, very, very small island. There's like less than 30 people living on it, to try and undo his writer's block. And he thinks he sees someone that looks exactly like his missing wife. This book is a literary masterpiece. It is so tense, so thrilling. Some quotes in this are beautiful. The message that this book gives is so powerful. You have to read it. It is so good. It is life-changing. I do not use that lightly. It is life-changing. I'm obsessed. Then we have Love at First Set by Jennifer Dugan, which I ended up rating 3 stars. This is a sapphic romance. It has such an interesting premise. Okay, so this girl here, she works at a gym and her bosses don't like her. And she is best friends with her boss's son, who also kind of works at the gym. And she agrees to go as his +1 to his sister's wedding. And let me just read you a quote from the back. Things go wrong immediately and culminating in Lizzie giving a drunken pep talk to a hot stranger in the woman's bathroom, except the stranger is actually the bride-to-be and Lizzie has accidentally convinced her to ditch the groom. This was so fun, but the reason it's a 3-star. Very, very cringy. Very, very cringy at a lot of points. From the 70% to like the 95%, I absolutely hated that chunk of the book because so much was just... I can't really tell you because it's like literally towards the end of the book. But there was a lot I didn't like, but a lot I did like. I did read this in one of my reading vlogs. I think I read every book I've talked about so far in a reading vlog somewhere, so you can find my thoughts in more detail. But that's kind of all I have to say about this one. It honestly feels like a lot longer since I started it because I am struggling to remember a lot of things, which I think solidifies the 3 stars for me. Then we have a 6-star read. 5 stars is not enough. This book changed how I view the thriller genre as a whole. It completely altered what I thought about so much. And that book is Pretty Girls by Clarence Slaughter. 300 pages in. Oh my goodness. That onwards, I could never guess where any of it was going. The amount of plot twists were insane. How twisted and dark and gory this book is made me feel physically sick to my stomach reading it. But it was a masterpiece. I immediately went and bought like 12 of Karen Slaughter's other books in a book bundle because I need to read more from this woman. So we follow 2 sisters and their other sister disappeared. I think it's 20 years ago at this point. Yeah, 20 years ago. And then in present day, another girl goes missing and the circumstances of her disappearance are hauntingly similar. And this book is so much more than that. There are so many side plots that all come together so perfectly. I could honestly cry with how much I love this book and how sad I am I don't get to experience it for the first time again. I am searching for the feeling this book gave me. I'm yearning for it. This was perfection. Then I read Defy the Night by Bridget Kemmerer. This was a DNF because I filmed a video that will be coming out soon where I read books I'd been avoiding. I'd been avoiding this trilogy because I'm starting to realise young adult fantasy is not really for me. I got like 250 pages into this one and I was just quite bored. I thought the main girl was way too forgiving. The main guy was an asshole and not in a redeemable way. Like, I didn't want to see his redemption arc because the stuff he did I cannot justify. And yeah, I DNF'd it, not because it was bad writing or because it was a bad book at all, but I'm just learning that the fantasy, young adult fantasy, is not one of my favourites. I mean, I've read a few that are great, but they're not, it's not like one of my top favourite genres. So I ended up DNFing the series. I won't be continuing the series, but it's not because it's a bad book. Don't take this as hate towards the book. It's just not for me. Then I picked up Betting on You by Lynn Painter and I ended up rating this one 3 stars. It's another book I read in that video. Oh my goodness, this book took me through a whirlwind of emotions. I loved a lot of this book, but in the back of my mind there was a thing that I knew was going to happen and it was going to cause a bunch of miscommunication and it was going to be really cliche. So it was just looming over me. I was waiting for it to happen and then it did happen, which is why I got 3 stars because it annoyed me so much. But a lot of this is really good. This is about Bailey and Charlie and they have a bet that he thinks girls and guys can't be friends and she disagrees. But it is so much more than that. They meet like multiple times throughout important parts of each other's lives and they then have to work together and that's how their friendship starts. It is so pure, so sweet, so loving. There's a lot of talks on like family and relationship dynamics and stuff like that. It's really good. It just got the 3 stars because I was so annoyed at what happened towards the end. If you know, you know. Again, in that video, which I don't think will be out, but it will be out soon after I post this one, I read The Coven by Harper L. Woods and I rated this book 2.5 stars. That ending absolutely infuriated me. I wanted to see if we got any explanation because that ending, there was no hints, there was no build up, we weren't even aware of like anything like that. There was no world building that had been needed for us to know what was going on. And I read about this book for the second one and immediately knew I could not continue. I did not like want to push through that to figure out what was going on because absolutely not. This girl has no backbone. She needs to stand up for herself. Oh my god. The ending absolutely ruined this book. It got a 2.5 stars because I was entertained a lot of parts, but I think I was entertained because of how like not good it was. I know this book is really popular, but just in my opinion I really didn't like it. The only reason I'm not unhauling it is because it's a really pretty special edition and I want it on my shelves. yeah, won't say any more about that book. Not for me, not for me at all. And the last book I read in that video, and a book that also wasn't for me, and another one I rated 2.5 stars. We have All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. I don't know why I keep picking up her books, because her writing is not for me. I know that. I know I'm not going to rate it higher than a 3-star. I know her poop jokes, her fart jokes, her burp jokes. That is not my humour, that is not funny, and it's in every single book she writes. And this one, like, it goes into so much detail about stuff like that, and I was just like, this is not funny to me. There were some comments I didn't like about the teenage son either, which you can hear about in more detail in that vlog I'm talking about so much. Yeah. 2.5 stars because there was some stuff I liked about this. This is about a woman who moves into, like, the converted garage of this guy and his son's house. Well, the guy and his son live in the house, and then she lives in the garage, and it's a slow burn romance between him. It's like single dad trope, kind of. She has a lot of trauma, which I liked how that was talked about, but I don't know. Slow burn by Mariana Zapata, but literally it felt like they didn't even like each other for, well, he didn't like her for like 70% of it. All the hiking stuff was quite boring to me. She goes on a lot of hikes. So 2.5 stars. Not for me. I should stop reading Mariana Zapata's books because I know so many people love them, but I just don't. But like, I'm probably going to pick another one up in a couple months. I don't know why I keep picking them up, but I just can't seem to stop. And then my current read, which is book number 10, and I will be finishing before the end of the month because I'm about to, when I finish this video, finish the book. It's Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. Now, I have a lot of mixed thoughts on what I've read so far. I'm 55% of the way in. I will say everybody is right about the audiobook. The audiobook, the guy is so funny in so many ways. It's having me like giggle out loud, but it's just too much for me, especially on audio. I feel like there's not enough plot. There needs to be more plot. It also has a tagline, the couple that slays together stays together, and I thought that like by slay they meant kill, but there's been no mention of that so far. I mean, I am only 55% of the way in, but I will say if they don't end up killing people, I will be disappointed. That feels crazy to say. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that book because I haven't finished it. Like I said, I'm literally gonna go and finish it now. But I had to get this video filmed for you guys. So those are the 10 books I've read. This is a shorter wrap up because I think it's the least amount of books I've read in a month for many months. But I've had a very busy month. I went to meet the book besties in person for the first time this month. I had the best time ever. But yeah, been a busy month for me, but I still managed to fit in 10 books and get 2 5-star reads, which is great. Let me know down below if you read anything I have this month, and also what did you read this month? Let me know if there's some book recs I need to be checking out. But that's all from me. I hope you have a lovely day. I'll see you in another video. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more from me because I post every single week. And that's it from me. Goodbye!